the dimly lit hours of that fateful morning, an evening session school student embarked on a journey that defied her usual routine. And little did she know that the path she chose would lead her down on a treacherous path of darkness and despair, a path that would lead her body to be found in a drain, where her innocent soul was taken too soon. What happened to this unfortunate girl? This case is about Shafiqah Muhammad Borhan, the eldest daughter of Mr. Muhammad Borhan Awang and Mrs. Norah Abu Bakar. The deceased was only 15 years old and was a student at Sekolah Menengah Perempuan Sultan Ibrahim, Johor Bahru. It was on the 25th of January 2006 when Shafiqah Muhammad Borhan, the deceased, left home at about 5:45 a.m. to go to school. Early that morning, the deceased left the house dressed in school uniform and a school bag, walking to the bus stop which is located nearby from her house. At the same time, there are two young men riding and roaming around on a motorcycle with the intention to graze anyone passing by them and snatch their belongings. As they were both waiting for their victims, they ran into the deceased and followed her all the way to the front of a primary school, where she then stopped and sat alone. The accused, Abu Bakar Musa, urged his friend, the witness of this case, Muhammad Raziz, to get closer to the deceased, which his friend refused. The accused then got off the motorcycle and walked toward the deceased. When the accused sat down next to the deceased was surprised when an unknown man sat beside her. In fear of the situation, the deceased ran toward one of the coconut trees next to a house nearby. The accused saw the deceased had run away. He urged his friend once more to get closer. Again, his friend refused. The accused approached the deceased even closer, all alone. The accused had clung his hand to the trunk of the coconut tree, and the other hand he had grasped the deceased's neck. The deceased screamed, but that just made the accused act more aggressively by pulling the deceased, where they both fell into a drain near the coconut tree. Here is where the nightmare happened. According to Muhammad Raziz's testimony, he was sitting on a pavement and claimed that he couldn't see what was going on in the drain. He sat there for about 15 to 20 minutes until a car passed that road and stopped nearby. His friend then went and waited on the other side of the road. 5 minutes later, he saw the accused climbing out of the drain. However, he climbed out all alone and not from where he and the deceased initially fell. He had raped and murdered Shafiqah Borhan. Without having a single clue where someone else's daughter went missing, the deceased family made a police report. However, despite a police force actively looking for the deceased, the results of the search were initially devastating. It was only 2 days later when the body of the deceased, who was still dressed in her school uniform, was found in a drain at Jalan Padi Huma near Mr. Hamdan Agulia's house.
The deceased's body was identified by her both parents at the scene of the incident. The deceased's body was identified again by her father at the mortuary on the day of the autopsy. The pathologist, Dr. Xiu Shufeng, explained that the autopsy result showed that the deceased died due to the consistent with immersion. She explained that immersion is a form of asphyxia, but also known as a drowning, in which airway disease were covered by the water, causing the diseased heartbeat to stop beating. This fact had been supported by a statement from ASP Nur Arifin bin Muhammad Nasir, investigating officer, where he found a stagnant water between the deceased head and a pile of crushed stone, causing the deceased die due to a high level of water around 6 inches. So, it showed that the accused had pressed the deceased's face until passed out or half conscious into the water. As a result, the deceased died due to the immersion because the air passage was closed by the water. Then, the pathologist also confirmed that there were many bruises on the victim's body. According to the expert doctor, the attack that caused bruises was inflicted on the current victim while the victim was still alive. This indicates that the victim was still alive after falling into the drain. The pathology also found traces of wound on the victim's genitalia that show blunt force trauma. She also stated one of the reasons of the wound due to the sexual assault in which the deceased genital were penetrated by the accused genital. That means the wound that found on the deceased show a sign that the deceased was found with his attacker. This is because if the attack carried out the disease while the deceased is still alive, then the injuries found do not be as widespread as found on the dead body. It showed that the deceased was still alive after falling into the drain, and the deceased was conscious and found back while being attacked in the sewers. After the investigation paper were opened, the police managed to arrest the suspect less than 3 weeks after the incident took place. As a proof, the investigative police found the victim's calculator on the suspect's house, and finally, the suspect was brought to the Johor Bahru High Court for the trial.
The court has ruled out that Abu Bakar bin Musa is guilty under 2 charges. The first charge is murder, an offence punishable under Section 302 of the Penal Code. And the second charge, rape, an offence punishable under Section 376 of the Penal Code. All of the pieces of evidence found are submitted to Jabatan Kimia Malaysia to be analysed. Based on the contents of the chemist report, it has a direct effect of linking the accused to the commission of the offence of murder and rape by him of the deceased. Firstly, in the accused room at his house in Kampung Kerinci, Pantai Dalam, Kuala Lumpur, a pair of jet blue classic jeans was found. It had bloodstains and the DNA test confirmed that it is the deceased's blood. Secondly, the specialist doctor took a pubic swab from the deceased's genitals and sent it to the chemistry department for analysis. The result of the analysis found that it contains traces of semen. The semen in question matches the DNA profile of the accused. This shows that the accused's genitals are inside the genitals of the deceased. Thirdly, the blood stain on the back seat and the driver's seat of the car were confirmed to be that of the deceased. Fourthly, 6 strands of hair found in the car based on DNA tests were also confirmed to be that of the deceased. The expert doctor stated in his testimony that while examining the body, he found marks on the deceased's genitals that indicated blunt force trauma. One of the reasons why these wounds occur is due to sexual assault. In addition, the expert doctor also stated that the injury to the deceased's genitals had exceeded the labia majora. Injuries to the deceased's genitals can be caused by male genitalia and are not consistent with injuries sustained by someone who fell. So this shows that the genitals of the deceased have been entered by the genitals of a man.
Dr. Sia Lei Hong, a DNA expert, testified the scientific analysis of the DNA evidence found. He mentioned that DNA is an abbreviation for deoxyribonucleic acid. It is hereditary material found in the chromosomes of cells and in human beings. DNA can be obtained from biological fluids such as blood, semen, saliva, urine, and sweat. Tissues such as bones and hairs, and from epithelial cells such as found in the lining of the genitals, anal, and buccal regions. His testimony summarized that DNA profile developed from swab B3, Syafiqah binti Muhammad Burhan, consisted of a mixture of a male and female DNA type for at least 2 individuals. This mixed profile indicates concordance with being contributed by a female contributor having a DNA profile consistent with the profile of B1 and B2, and a male contributor having a DNA profile matching the profile obtained from blood specimens G1 labeled Abu Bakar. The probability of a randomly selected unrelated individual having a DNA profile matching the profile of G1 being contributor of the mixed profile is 1 in 750 millions, based on the population database of Malaysian Malays. Therefore, the accused was found guilty for raping the victim, and the court sentenced Abu Bakar Musa to 20 years in prison and 15 lashes. He is also sentenced for death for the offence of murdering the deceased. The friend of the accused who had incident was called a prosecution witness when the case was tried. Despite being together with the accused, he did not conspire to commit the brutal act. In conclusion, body fluids plays a vital role in aiding forensic experts in the identification and investigation of murder and rape cases. Fluid analysis in murder and rape cases helps forensic experts to piece together the puzzle surrounding the crime. It assists in establishing links between suspects, victims, and crime scene, identify perpetrators through DNA analysis, and provide objective evidence to corroborate or challenge the witness statement. By utilizing the body fluids of valuable forensic evidence, experts contribute significantly to the investigations, aiding in the pursuit of justice and ensuring the proper identification and prosecution of perpetrators.